This is my Super 17 defense deck. 1 copy of the leader. 4 Super 17 powers combined. 4 Super 17 hellish amalgamation. 4 Super 17 prepping for union. 4 Hellfighter 17. 4 Android 17. 4 Vegeta prideful transformation. 4 Dr. Mew return from the beyond. 4 Android 17 thwarting the enemy. 4 Frieza's army reinforcements. 4 Flying Nimbus. 3 SS Gogeta Dynamic Unison. 3 Vegeta Unison of Fury. 3 MicroRecords Clouding Revival, and Sin Shenron Corrupted by the Darkness. Just 1 copy. So this is one of our win cons, obviously. And we're definitely trying to draw into it, so that way you can, obviously use it to, to go for game. We could also, go for game with MicroRecords by taking one of our opponent's finishers and finish them with their own finisher. And of course, we got the Super 17 power combined. Use a triple strike. So we have that. The deck's, very defensive. We have a lot of blockers in the deck. Negates. A whole bunch of negates, blockers, negates, floodgate, negate type of effects. Very defensive. And of course we have a reusable engine. So we can have a reusable blocker. For example, we use Dr. Mew to bring back Hellfighter 17 from the drop over and over again. He is a blocker. Obviously use it to block an attack. He'll go back to the drop area. Then you use Dr. Mew, pay 1 yellow, bring it back, and then you have a reusable blocker, for very low cost. This is only once per turn per each copy. So if you have multiple copies of Dr. Mew in play, then you could, bring back multiple copies of Hellfighter 17, and then use them to block. So really nice little, low cost defensive engine. So definitely a fan of that. And of course, we got some union absorb abilities to help us get up to, being able to EX evolve into our bigger Super 17s. So the leader, auto, choose 1 Android card in your hand, discard it. When this card attacks, draw 2 cards. So you attack, pitch an Android card, draw 2 cards. What you mainly want to discard for the androids that you want to discard for this effect specifically are your Super 17 prepping for union, your Hellfighter 17, and your Android 17 conceding to union. So pretty much, pretty much any of your cards that says union, because I noticed they all say union. So any of your union cards you can pitch, because they have the ability to come back from the drop, so you have no problem throwing them to the drop on purpose, just to trigger your leader's drawing ability. And you could of course combine it with Gogeta's ability, its +1 ability of pitching 2 yellow cards in order to draw 2 cards. So further cycling through your deck, so that we can draw into certain key cards, including your Sin Shenron win con, among other things, other pieces, since you want to get your Super 17, so you can evolve them on top of your 3 drop and go up the chain. So there's that. So mainly you want to mulligan you want to mulligan all your Super 17s, except for your Union one, back into the deck, because you will draw them again later, and you definitely want to start off with your Union cards, because you're gonna discard them. And you definitely want to start off with 1 Dr. Mew, so that way you can start a little engine off. So you want at least 1 Dr. Mew, definitely want 1 Hellfighter 17, so that way you can start off your little blocker engine and go from there. And everything else you'll draw later on, obviously. Awaken. When your life is 4 or less, or you have a yellow unison with specified cost of 2 in play, and we have 2 cards for that. We have Gogeta and we have Vegeta, Unison, Fury to help you with that. You draw a card, switch one of your energies to active mode, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left, and then flip this card over. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1 card, and this card gets 2k power for the battle for each card placed under your battle cards. For each card placed under your battle cards. So obviously, right off the bat, if you have either one of these two and you trigger the Union Absorb ability, you will put the opposite version. So let's go with this one. Let's say you have Hellfighter 17, then you grab your Android 17. This is also an Android 17. So either one of these two from your drop, place it under this card, and then evolve from your deck or drop area your Super 17. So in that situation, under Super 17 prepping for Union, you will clearly have 2 battle cards under it. So you'll get a 4k boost. But if you evolve into your 5 drop, you get 6k boost. And if you evolve into your 8 drop, you will get 8k boost. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 8k boost. So almost an extra 10k power up just for attacking. So you'll go from right off the bat, you'll be 4k stronger. So you'll be 19k. Once you go to your 5 drop, you'll be 21k. And once you get to your 8 drop, you'll be 23k. So you'll be a 23k swinger. And then active main, once per turn, choose 1 Super 17 card in your battle area. Place up to 1 Hellfighter 17 or Android 17 card from your drop area under the chosen card. So of course, you can push yourself to 25k if you add an extra copy. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4. So you need 5 cards under any of your Super 17s in order to trigger this power boost for when you attack. You can do something as basic as just use any of the any of the 1 drops to Union Absorb, go into your 3 drop, then use your leader's ability to add another 1 drop under it, so that way the 3 drop will have 3 materials under it. That's an instant 6k boost to your leader's attack on that most basic play. An extra 6k, so you'll be at 21k on your on your swings just with that alone. So that's a real basic little engine right there, just to make your leader strong for when it attacks. And then its active battle ability, once per turn, Spirit Boost. You remove a marker from one of your unisons, and then choose 1 Super 17 card in your battle area and place 3 cards under it in their owner's drop area, and then choose up to 1 each of your opponent's battle cards and unison cards and switch them to rest mode. So that's pretty decent because it's an active battle, so you can definitely take advantage of that, of tapping down your opponent's battle cards just by giving up materials. Like I said, the most basic aspect, the most basic end strategy will be to play any of the 2 1 drops, equip the other opposite 1 drop under it to bring out the 3 drop, then use your leader's active main to give it another 1 drop copy, so that way it will have 3 materials under Super 17 prepping for Union. So you have 3 materials under it, and then you'll be able to trigger your active battle, which you'll want to do on your opponent's turn, obviously. Trigger during active battle on your opponent's turn. Spirit Boost 1 from any of your unisons. And as you can see, these unisons specifically got +1 abilities. Like this one has a +1 ability, right? And this will help you get the materials in the drop and you know, draw into other cards and stuff. This, just by resting it or resting any of your other cards, you can give it a marker. This has a +1 ability that you can, you know, active main, where you can give it a marker. So you already have, you know, a way of keep producing markers on your unisons, so that way you can keep affording that spirit boost ability to be able to use it every turn. The cool thing you can do, obviously, is try to trigger it. You could obviously try to trigger in your turn, especially if you're going for game. You definitely want to be able to set, you know, take advantage of using it to set your opponent up, to tap them down, especially with blockers and stuff. If they have a unison that's a blocker, tap down their unison blocker. So it's nice that it has the ability to rest unison as well, and then, you know, try going for game, right? Go up the chain, evolve to your 5, your 8, and then go in on your opponent. So that's one way you can use that. But mainly, you'll definitely take advantage of this defensively. Like I said, this deck is very defensive, and we have a reusable engine that, you know, it's really good. So there's that. Okay, so that explains the leader. All right. Now, Super 17 powered combined has Deflect, Triple Strike, 25k, and EX Evolve for 2 yellow. If you have 4 or more energy and mono yellow, Super 17 card with an energy cost of 5 in order to, you know, EX Evolve. Active main, once per turn, place 3 cards under this card in their owner's drop area, and then switch this card and up to one of your Super 17 leader cards to active mode. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and place it under this card. This card gets plus 1000 power for the turn for each energy cost in the battle card placed under it. So obviously, so this is a good card because this will help you deal with any card that for some reason can't be, you know, it's good against anything that's indestructible. Just good to remove a blocker out the way, you know, just grab it, absorb it. Good for, it doesn't ignore a barrier, obviously, but it's good in many other situations. Helps you, you know, get rid of any problematic battle card. And then on top of that, you know, you get stronger. So let's say you grab the 10 drop with this, right? So that'd be 10, yeah, because it's 1,000. So it'd be 10,000. So if you grab a 10 drop with this, that'd be 10,000 power boost to this. Is it to the leader? No, this card gets. So this card gets the power boost. So if you have a 5 drop, it'll get a 5k boost. If it's a 10 drop, it'll get 10k boost. So you'll be a 35k. Well, on average, you'll probably be a 30k. You know, just you'll probably be absorbing five drops with this. But if you get anything higher than that, like a 10 drop, you'll get 10k, and you'll be a 35k triple strike. But on average, you'll probably be a 30k triple strike with that ability. So that's pretty decent. And then we have Super 17 Hellish Amalgamation, has Deflect, Dual Attack. It's nice that it has Deflect, so I don't have to worry about God Sealing Trunks or something like that. 19k Dual Attack, EX Evolve for 1 yellow. If your leader card is a Super 17 card, mono yellow Super 17 card with an energy cost of 3 in play in order to evolve this on top of it. So obviously this is a target for it. First auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less in rest mode and place it under this card, then draw a card. So this can help us get rid of a battle card. and then of course helps us put cards under this Super 17 so we can obviously utilize it for our leader's active battle ability, so we can take advantage of that. And then second auto, when this card is KO'd by your opponent's skill, play up to one mono yellow Super 17 card with an energy cost of 3 from your drop area. So this is decent, of course. I like the fact that it floats. I do hate that the 8-drop doesn't float the 5, and then when the 5 gets KO'd, then it floats to 3. Right? That would have made more sense. It would have been a nice combination to have that. So that was cool. So that would have been cool, but they don't. The 3-drop has a barrier auto when this card is played. Using Union, draw a card. So every time you do the little 1-drop Union Absorb, you play this out and then you draw a card. So not only do you have a potential blocker engine, you also have a draw engine on top of that every time you bring this out. And this has barrier, that could be relevant, the usefulness of the barrier part. Would have been nice if it was a barrier blocker, right? Would have been really cool. Active main, limit 1, so you can only use this card's effect once a turn for 1 copy of the card. If your leader card is a Super 17 card and you choose this card and an Android card, well, this active main is from your hand, right? If you choose this card and 1 Android card in your hand and discard it, right? Am I saying right? If your leader card is Super 7 leaders, choose this card and an Android card in your hand and discard them. And discard them. It says them. So yeah, this is from your hand. You gotta have both. I was thinking maybe this has to be on the field. You have to have an Android in your hand, and then you send them both, because it would say send, but it says discard both. So I think if I'm right, this is from your hand. I could be wrong. We'll find out later on. But I'm assuming this is from the hand when I first read it. So you discard this and another Android from your hand in order to trigger this effect. Look at up to 7 cards from the top of your deck and add up to 2 yellow Android cards with an energy cost of 5 or less among them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Obviously, this is a good way to grab, to go grab your 5-drop. Because of course, with your 3-drop in the drop area, all you would need is the ability to, Union Absorb, your Hellfighter 17 or your Android 17 in order to bring this back from the drop, and then, since for 1 yellow energy, you could put the 5-drop on top of the 3-drop and go from there. All right. Oh yeah. On this one, Hellfighter 17. It's a blocker, which is really nice. Obviously, Union Absorb once per turn. If your leader card is a Super 17 card and you choose 1 Android 17 card in your hand or drop area and place it under this card, play up to 1 mono yellow Super 17 card with an energy cost of 3 from your deck or drop area on top of this card, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So of course you can use this to thin out your deck by grabbing the one, the Super 17, prepping for Union from your deck, so that way you can thin out your decks, to help you with all your draw effects and stuff like that, so you can get to your Sen Shenron. Of course, it's a blocker, so you can use it over and over again to block if you need some type of defense. But if you don't, you can just go Union Absorb and then go up to Chain. And this Android 17 has barrier. Not really necessary for it to have barrier, because what's interesting is that when you have them absorb, it doesn't give the card that's on top, the evolved cards, the abilities of whatever is under them. Like these should have had the effect where they have they gain the keyword skills of the cards under them. That way you get a barrier, blocker that so happens to be a dual attacker, and triple strike. So that way, once you get to your Super 17, it would be a triple strike barrier blocker with dual attack. That would have been pretty badass. But it's strange that they didn't make it that way. That's the way they should have made it, but oh well. Beggars can be choosers. I like that it's a nice little, defensive deck, and I use the Super 17, which I'm a fan of. So there's that. And this has the same ability. If you have this in play once per turn, you can grab a Hellfighter 17, which is this one, place it on this card in order to play from the deck or drop a Super 17 Pageman for the Union, draw a card, of course, and then go from there. Do whatever you want to do. Then we have Vegeta, Prideful Transformation, Blocker, Counterplay. You can only activate the counterplay skills of you can't activate the counterplay skills of other cards for the turn, except for this card, right? And then the battle card being played is played in rest mode, and then play this card. So you can use this to counterplay against your opponent, try to play a finisher that doesn't have deflect, obviously, and you can just use this to tap down their battle card. Then, since there's a blocker, this can help you stop another potential attacker your opponent would have tried to use that turn. And it has the permanent that if you have a yellow unison card with 2 or more markers in play, you can activate this card's counter skill for free. So that's extra nice. So it's a free counterplay that can help you tap down one of your opponent's battle card that they try to play, and then of course have a blocker for extra defense. So that's where it's there, just to give you more defense on top of whatever defensive capabilities your that you're getting from your unisons. Then we have Dr. Mew, Return from the Beyond. Simple effect. Active main, pay 1 yellow once per turn. Play up to 1 yellow Hellfighter 17 card with an energy cost of 1 from your deck or drop area, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. So this can help you thin out. It helps you get this one, Hellfighter 17, from your deck onto the field, or from the drop area to the field. And so first off, you'll want to do it from the deck so you can obviously thin out your deck. But then after that, you'll just be grabbing your Hellfighter 17s from your drop area over and over again to use them to block over and over again. So of course you want to keep this bad boy in play as much as possible, because you want to keep being able to use this to keep putting up a defense. And that's why I only use this one, and I don't use the Dr. Gero one, because the Dr. Gero one gets you this one, and it's a little pointless. I'd rather grab the blocker. So this is just a way to give me the blocker engine, but also give me the Super 17 Pageman Union engine, so I can get the 3, use the 3 to make the 5. If the 5 gets KO'd, I can always bring back the 3 and go from there. And then of course I could always use the 3 to try to get me another copy of the 5, and then go evolve and go from there. So now we have Android 17 thwarting the enemy, counter attack, limit 1, so you can only play one of these a turn. Leader card is yellow, negate the attack, play this card in rest mode. If you negated a leader card's attack with this card, your opponent can't attack with their leader card for the turn. This comes in handy, especially against in the mirror match, because clearly this you have the ability to use your Super 17 powers combined to restand your leader, so you can get more than one attack out of your leader. You get an extra draw because you will draw every time you swing with the leader, and if you use this against the leader, it won't be able to attack the second time, right? So that's important there. And then permanent, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by Spirit Boost 2. So you remove 2 markers from one of your unisons, and you could play this card for free. Comes very, very handy, very, very clutch when your opponent thinks you're all tapped out and you're defenseless, and they're like, I got you, Overwhelm, time to go for game, bang. So to me, this is a anti-Overwhelm counter, defense because obviously you'll be using everything else. You'll use Flying Nimbus, you know, you can use your Frieza's Army Reinforcement to try to defend yourself, but if they're still capable of doing one more final push, one more final attack, try to go for game like, I got you. You're all tapped out. You only have one card in your hand. You can't out combo this attack, and they attack, and you're like, boop, play this for free just by removing 2 markers on any of my unisons. And catch your opponent off guard. So, gotta love that. Free negate. Frieza's Army Reinforcement. Counter attack if your leader card is mono yellow, which it is. Negate the attack. Play 1 Frieza's token, Army token with 10k power and a gains blocker for the turn. Permanent if your life is 5 or less. You can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its cost by taking 1 card from your life and adding it to your hand. Of course, you can play multiple copies of this card if you have enough life points to play multiple copies. So you can potentially stop up to 2 attacks per each copy. So surviving an extra turn is always important because it gives you extra chances to win. Flying Nimbus, counter attack, negate the attack. Then you may place 1 yellow card in your hand into the drop area. If you do so, your opponent can only attack 1 more time with battle cards for the duration of the turn. This doesn't affect unisons or leaders, so keep that in mind. Something you can do, obviously, is use this to negate a leader or unison swing, and then it forces your opponent to only have a battle card and a leader swing, or a battle card and a unison swing. So definitely want to use this against battle card, or a leader or unison. So that way you're limiting them to just 1 battle card swing that turn. Then we have SS Gogeta Dynamic Unison. Permanent if all of your energy is in rest mode. Your mono yellow leader card gets a 5k power during your opponent's turn. So on the front side you'll be a 15k, on the back side you'll be a 20k. And then auto once per turn, when your opponent activates a extra card, add a marker to this card. Won't be too hard. Anytime your opponent plays a counter attack, you know, you'll get a marker, which is good because of course you use the marker you're gaining from that effect to trigger your leader's active battle ability, you know, for the spirit boost, and be able to tap down your opponent's, you know, battle cards and unisons with that. So there's synergy there. Then it has the +1 ability. Active main, you may choose 2 yellow cards in your hand, discard them in order to draw 2 cards. -4 ability, active main, during your opponent's next charge phase, your opponent can only switch up to 2 energy to active mode. So this is a good way of making it hard for your opponent to make plays on their turn. So that way, you know, you could potentially get yourself an extra turn. So it's a way to try to get an extra turn if you use it right. Vegeta's Unison of Fury. Active main, once per turn, choose this card or one of your battle cards and switch it to rest mode. Add 1 marker to this card. -1 ability. Active main, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of their turn. This is good against decks that cheat out a whole bunch of big you know, battle cards. Obviously really good against Dark Broly, good against any swap decks, you know, Arrival and Union Fusion, all that, you know, Ramp, all that good stuff. Anytime your opponent tries overwhelm, you know, that kind of stuff. Anytime your opponent tries to cheat out a big battle card and tries to use it against you, this can help you defend against that, of course. And then it has the -3 ability. Active main, choose up to 1 of your opponent's energy, switch it to rest mode, so tap down 1 of their energies, and then this card gains 5k boost, double strike, and dual attacks. So it'll be a 20k double strike. They can attack twice, so it has the potential to be a finisher. And with the drawing capabilities of this deck, you can have a pretty thick hand, and you could definitely use this to try to go for game by tapping down 1 of your opponent's energy to make sure they don't have an energy to try to play a negate and go in for the kill. Mecha Gabora, Plotting Revival. It's a blocker, 15k. Auto once per turn, when this card loses a marker due to an opponent's attack, choose up to 1 of your opponent's cards and switch it to rest mode. +1 ability, active main, draw 1 card, then choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode, ignoring barrier, and that card can't switch to active mode until the end of your opponent's next turn. So it's a good way of keeping something tapped down, so you don't have to block too many things. So this, along with the Dr. Mew, blocker engine, you can use this to tap down something that you blocked with a Hellfire. So use a Hellfighter to block an attack from something, and then you play your Mecha Gabor, use Mecha Gabor +1 ability to keep that card tapped down, and then use Dr. Mew's ability to bring back Hellfire 17, so you can keep having the defense, and this can slow down your opponent's aggressiveness, right? Your opponent's ability to attack multiple times. And of course, this is a blocker, so he can also block, so you'll have the ability to block 2 attacks. He also, when he loses a marker from essentially from blocking, you can rest something else down. Typically, you might want to tap down like energy to take advantage of that, or tap down a battle card, so you could potentially stop 3 attacks a turn with this strategy. So you'll tap something down with this, you'll block, tap something down, block with this. So technically 4. You'll block 3, tap down 1. So you can slow down your opponent by 4 cards. So you can make 4 cards relatively useless with just having Mecha Gabora and Dr. Mew on the field, and have that little engine working together in synergy. And then the mightiest effect this card has, its -4 ability. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, gain control of it, switch it to active mode, which is great. This is a 15k, so if you want, obviously, right, you could play it for 5 energy, right, -4, so that you can take your opponent's battle card and still have a marker on it to keep it in place, so you can use it to do, to block and whatnot. But take one of your opponent's battle cards and beat them with their own battle cards. Steal their finisher and finish them with it. So that's always good. Blocking, defending, controlling, trying to take your opponent down in multiple ways. Gotta have more than one way of winning, right? And then Sin Shinron. Corrupted by the Darkness. Ultimate blocker, so it's a 40k blocker, right? Keeping with the theme of defense. First permanent, this card is also treated as a black card in all areas. Second permanent, if this card would be removed from the battle area, move it from the game instead. And auto, 1 energy. At the end of the battle in which this card is used in a combo from your hand specifically, right? Play this card from your drop area, and then if you do, choose any number of your opponent's leader cards, battle cards, and unison cards equal to or less than their current energy, ignoring barrier, and switch them to rest mode. So obviously you want to use this defensively. You want to use this on your opponent's turn. So you pay 1 energy to combo with it, right? Because it's a 10k combo. So pay 1 energy, combo with it. Then after the battle's over, pay 1 to trigger its auto, bring it back from the drop, then activate its effect. And based off of your opponent's energy, you can tap down that many leader cards and battle cards and unison cards your opponent has. Which is nice, because that means you're tapping down a whole bunch of potential attackers. So you're tapping down leaders, unisons, battle cards, just off of this one play. More likely, depending on the situation, your opponent probably attacks with their leader. You'll do this and tap down their unisons and battle cards, right? More often than not. If you play Flying Nimbus, you can obviously play Flying Nimbus and then combine it with this to tap down your opponent's cards to greatly increase your chances of not getting attacked that turn, right? And then, of course, you got a nice 40k blocker, which if for some reason they're still able to attack, you at least have a blocker, right? But if they don't, hey, you got a 40k body ready to roll next turn. And then its active main ability that you're going to take advantage of is to pay 4 energy. This card gains double strike and dual attack for the turn. So it'd be a 40k double strike that can attack twice. So it can potentially do 4 damage all by itself, or at least try to deal double strike damage at least twice. So definitely useful, in case your opponent manages to still have the ability to play a negate, for example, like one of these free, blocker negates, or and one of these spirit boost negates battle cards. And yep, that's the end of the video.